Hello everyone, welcome back. In the previous video we had studied about fractions, the different types which are available. Out of that we had even studied about equivalent fractions. Now there I had explained you what are equivalent fractions and how you can create it also. So that is again which we are going to discuss here, that how to find equivalent fractions of a given fraction. Suppose you are given one fraction. Let that fraction be say 1 upon 5. Now you want to find say 3 equivalent fractions. 3 equivalent fractions of 1 upon 5. Now in order to find that, what we will do is 1 upon 5, we are going to multiply both the numerator and denominator by a value. We will multiply it by one value. Say we are multiplying it by 2. If you multiply this by 2, you get it as 2 upon 10. Similarly, if you multiply the numerator and denominator by 3. Now if you multiply it by 3, what do you get? You get it as 3 upon 15. Next, if you multiply it by 4, though you can multiply it by 5 also, but if we multiply it by 4, we get 4 upon 20. So you can see here that when we multiply both numerator and denominator by any one of the value, we get a new fraction. And these fractions which are here, they are the equivalent fractions to 1 upon 5. So equivalent fractions of 1 upon 5 are 2 upon 10, 3 upon 15 and 4 upon 20. We had to find 3 equivalent fractions. So these are the 3, 2 upon 10, 3 upon 15 and 4 upon 20. It is not that you have to multiply by 2, 3, 4 in a series. You can multiply it by any of the number. So this is how you can find the equivalent fractions. Next thing which we are going to do is, if you remember, we have discussed even about the like and unlike fractions. Now what are like and unlike fractions? Those fractions which have same denominator, they are known as like fractions, and if the denominator is different, then we call them as unlike fractions. For example, say 2 upon 7 and 3 upon 7. Now these are like fractions, whereas 1 upon 5 and 2 upon 3, these are unlike fractions. Now first thing is, we can convert the unlike fractions into like fractions. That is, we can make the denominators same. So if it is already there, then they are like fractions. If it is not, we can make them or we can convert it into like fractions. So how we will convert the unlike fractions into like fractions? Let me explain you. What you will do is, you will first take the LCM of the denominators. So the denominators here are 5 and 3. So first of all is, you are going to take the LCM of these denominators. If you take the LCM of 5 and 3, it is 15. Now what we will do? We will find the equivalent fractions of 1 upon 5 and 2 upon 3 in such a way that the denominator is equal to 15. So by what value should we multiply 5 so that the denominator becomes 15? So you can see it is 5 3 times. 5 3 times is 15. So we will multiply the numerator also with the same value. And if you are multiplying, you get the fraction as 3 upon 15. And same you do it with the second fraction, that is 2 upon 3. We will multiply 3 by that value so that the denominator becomes 15. So how many times 3 is 15? It is 5 times. So we will multiply 3 by 5 and 2 also by 5. You get 10 upon 15. So here the two fractions which were there, 1 upon 5 and 2 upon 3, they are now converted into 3 upon 15 and 10 upon 15. So you can see here that the unlike fractions, they are converted into like fractions. And for this, you can easily understand how it is done. Now, converting it, why you should know is, if you know how to convert unlike fractions into like fractions, then we can easily compare the fractions. Comparing means to find out which is greater, which is smaller. Now, if the denominator is already equal, means if the fractions are already like fractions, then you just need to compare their numerators. If the denominators are already equal, compare the numerators, you will come to know which of the fraction is greater and which is smaller. If you see here, 7, it is same. So just out of the 2 and 3, the two numerators which you have, which is greater? 3 is greater, 2 is less than 3. Therefore, the fraction 2 upon 7 is smaller than the fraction 3 upon 7. So, in this way we can easily compare it. We can easily tell which is greater and which is smaller. Same is the case with these two other fractions also, 1 upon 5 and 2 upon 3. Now here they were not like fractions, so we cannot compare them directly. So what we do is, we convert them into like fractions. And what are the fractions we get? 3 upon 15 and 10 upon 15. Now you can compare them very easily. The denominators are equal, therefore the numerators will also be compared so that you can easily find out which is smaller and which is greater. Now here if you see, 3 is less than 10. So which is greater? 10 upon 15 is greater. Now if 10 upon 15 is greater, it means out of 1 upon 5 and 2 upon 3, which is greater? 2 upon 3 is greater. So we will see that 1 upon 5 is less than 2 upon 3. So in this way we can compare it. Now let us have more example. There is another way also to compare the fractions, that also I'll tell you. If suppose you are given two fractions, I am talking about only two fractions given. If it is 2 upon 5 and say 4 upon 9. Now you have to tell which is greater, which is smaller. So if there are only two fractions, what we can do is, you just multiply the numerator of the first fraction with denominator of the second fraction. What we will do? Multiply the numerator of first fraction with denominator of the second fraction, that is 2 multiply 9, and multiply the numerator of the second fraction by denominator of the first fraction. So it becomes 4 multiply 5. So 2 multiply 9 is 18 and 4 multiply 5 is 20. Now out of these two values, 18 and 20, which is greater? 20 is greater. So we can say 18 is less than 20. Now if 18 is less than 20, it means 2 upon 5 is less than 4 upon 9. Let us have one more example. Say you have 1 upon 7 and 3 upon 15, and rather instead of 3 upon 15, let it be 3 upon 25. Now here compare it in the same way. What we will do? We will multiply the numerator of first by denominator of the second, that is 1 will be multiplied by 25 and numerator of the second will be multiplied by denominator of the first, 3 multiplied by 7. So 1 multiplied 25 is 25 and 3 multiplies 7 is 21. So here 25 and 21, which is greater? 25 is greater than 21. Because 25 is greater than 21, so 1 upon 7 is greater than 3 upon 25. So in this way we can compare two fractions if we are given. Now here let me add one more thing. As I told you, if the denominators are equal, then you can easily compare them which is greater and which is smaller. 2 and you will just compare the numerators. 2 is greater than 1, so it means 2 upon 5 is greater than 1 upon 5. Same way, if it is 13 upon 25 and 11 upon 25, denominators are same, so 13 and 11, 13 is greater, so we will say 13 upon 25 is greater than 11 upon 25. But even if the numerator is same, say you have 7 upon 3 and 7 upon 5. Now if you want to compare these two, where the numerators are same and denominators are different, then also you can directly compare them. How? If the numerators are same, the fraction with smaller denominator will be considered as the bigger one. अगर न्यूमरेटर सेम है तो जिस फ्रैक्शन में डिनोमिनेटर स्मॉल वैल्यू होगी उस फ्रैक्शन को हम क्या मानेंगे? ग्रेटर मानेंगे. जैसे 7 upon 3 and 7 upon 5. 3 is the smaller denominator, so it means 7 upon 3 is greater than 7 upon 5. If it is say 9 upon 10 and 9 upon 5, again the numerators are same, so we will compare the denominators. 10 and 5, less the denominator, greater will be the fraction. जिसका डिनोमिनेटर छोटा होगा वो फ्रैक्शन ग्रेटर बनेगा. तो यहाँ पे 9 upon 10, जिसका डिनोमिनेटर बड़ा है वो फ्रैक्शन छोटा हो जाएगा. तो 9 upon 10 is less than 9 upon 5. So hope this is also clear to you. Now if there are 3 or more than 3 fractions and you want to write them in ascending or descending order, then what to do? Say you are given 2 upon 3, say 1 upon 2, maybe you have 2 upon 5. These 3 fractions are there. Now what you have to do is you have to write them in ascending order. So how will you write it in ascending order? What we will do is, you can see here that these are unlike fractions. क्या है ये? Unlike fractions है. So what we will do? We will convert them into like fractions. And how to convert them into like fraction? We will first take LCM of 3, 2 and 5. We will take the LCM of 3, 2 and 5. You know how to find the LCM. So you just find the LCM. You will find it out that you get the LCM as 30. 3, 2 और 5 का LCM क्या आएगा? 30. Now what is the next step? 2 upon 3. We will write the equivalent fraction of 2 upon 3 such that its denominator is 30. 2 upon 3 का equivalent fraction find out करेंगे जिसमें denominator क्या है 30. So 3 is to be multiplied by 10. तो 3 को हम किससे multiply करेंगे? 10 से करेंगे तभी 30 आएगा. तो numerator को भी 10 से multiply. What do you get? 20 upon 30. Now take the next fraction 1 upon 2. Do the same with this also. इसके साथ भी वही करेंगे. Convert it into a fraction with denominator 30. ये 30 कहाँ से आया हमारे पास? ये जो LCM find out किया है वहाँ से. So 2 how many times is 30? 2 15 times is 30. So we will multiply numerator also by 15 and 1 multiply 15 is 15. Now the third fraction 2 upon 5. Do the same with that also. उसके साथ भी वही करेंगे. We will convert it into a fraction with denominator 30. So 5 how many times is 30? 5 6 are 30. 5 6 are 30 होता है. So 2 will also be multiplied by 6 and you get 12 upon 30. Now compare these fractions. अब ये जो हमारे fractions आए हैं इनको देखो. All the denominators are same. So we can compare these now. अब हम इनको compare कर सकते हैं. What order we have to write? We have to write it in the ascending order. So ascending means small to big. So which is the smallest one? 12 upon 30. So ascending order is like this: 12 upon 30. Then comes 15 upon 30. And then comes 20 upon 30. So this is the ascending order, small to big. Now write it in the original form. Write the fractions in the given form. हमें जिस फॉर्म में हमें fractions दिए हुए हैं हम उस फॉर्म में आंसर लिखेंगे. Now 12 upon 20. तो sorry 12 upon 30. तो 12 upon 30 is for 2 upon 5. So we write 2 upon 5. Then 15 upon 30 it is for 1 upon 2. So next fraction is 1 upon 2 and then 20 upon 30 it is for 2 upon 3. So the greatest fraction is 2 upon 3 and this is the ascending order. So hope it is clear how you are going to compare the fractions. We'll meet again and we will discuss more things. So meanwhile what you have to do is you just try to solve your exercise 12.1. The first 3 questions, or rather it is better you go with 2 questions. Exercise 2.1 question 1 and 2. Just do this as homework and the rest we will discuss again. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you all. Jai Hind.